Welcome into OutKick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. New haircut. Don't know what I think about it yet. Got it down in Tampa for Wrestlemania. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me. I hope that you are having a fantastic start to your week. Monday edition of the program is off and running right now. And if you live in Tennessee, Michigan, Virginia, Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, West Virginia, Colorado, New Jersey, or Pennsylvania, right now you can get up to $1,000 free to gamble with at FanDuel.com/Clay. That's FanDuel.com/Clay. If you are a new user, encourage you to dive in and not miss a minute there. FanDuel.com/Clay. All right, Masters. I thought it was a pretty boring Masters. I know. We all love the Masters. We're all excited for the Masters. But other than some drama at 15, which immediately led into a collapse at 16, there wasn't a lot to be excited about on Sunday as Hideki Matsuyama won the Masters. And if you were watching, which I was, on hole 15, Matsuyama put it in the water. That then allowed Xander Schauffele to cut it to a two-stroke difference. Xander is up in the tee box at 16. He's got an opportunity to put some real pressure on Matsuyama. Instead, he puts it in the water and triple bogeys 16. Almost no one puts it in the water at 16 at all. So this was a pretty bad choke. And then he popped it over the green for his follow shot. Back-to-back awful shots. And he got, as a result, his first triple bogey in a major, I believe, in over 1,000 holes that he has played in his career. Matsuyama was able to bogey his way down the stretch without any pressure, and he won the green jacket. And then to Matsuyama's credit, no real entourage to speak of. There are pictures out, if you haven't already seen them, of him and Atlanta just chilling in the green jacket with the green jacket about to travel. No special treatment in the airport at all. He's just splayed out chilling at the Atlanta airport with his new green jacket. So congrats to Hideki Matsuyama for his win over the Masters. I just wish that Xander, not only because I had him as a futures ticket to potentially win the Masters, but just for the sheer excitement, I wish he had knocked one close on 16 so that we could have seen whether or not Matsuyama was going to buckle under the stress. Instead, Hideki Matsuyama gets the win and the Masters. Like I said, not a lot of excitement in the grand scheme of things because Matsuyama never really challenged for most of Sunday and was able to bogey his way to a title. News that came down just a little bit ago, probably within the last hour or so. This story hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but on February 4th, Britt Reid, who is the son of Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid, was involved in an accident traveling up to 84 miles per hour where he rear-ended a car and severely injured a 5-year-old girl in that car. Britt Reid has been charged with felony DUI, as he was reportedly had a blood alcohol content of 0.113, which means that he potentially will be facing years in prison over this accident if he were found guilty. Now, to me, the biggest story from an NFL perspective about Britt Reid, who has since been removed from his job with the Kansas City Chiefs, is where was he drinking? Was he drinking at the Chiefs facility before he got into this accident? Where was he consuming these beers? That could tie in the Chiefs in a really uncomfortable way and also raise a lot of questions about Britt Reid's behavior as an assistant coach as the Chiefs were getting ready for the Super Bowl. Again, he got into an accident on February 4th, traveling around 84 miles an hour reportedly, and injured severely a 5-year-old girl with a 0.113 blood alcohol content. So that story is going to be a big one in Kansas City going forward as we get some form of criminal resolution there. A couple of other stories. Herschel Walker is seriously considering running for the Senate in 2022 against Raphael Warnock, who won last year in the runoff election. And if Herschel Walker runs, he would be a substantial favorite given his popularity in the state of Georgia. Herschel said he is thinking about it. He has been encouraged by a lot of different people all over Georgia and beyond, including former President Donald Trump, to run for office. Herschel Walker was very outspoken as a friend of Donald Trump's during the presidential campaign, and that seems to have awoken in him a potential desire to maybe be a Republican nominee running against Warnock in the 2022 election. We will have to wait and see exactly what happens there, but some really interesting quotes from Herschel Walker. In fact, I will read some of those quotes to you as we get ready for a decision to be made at some point as to who is going to run in what will be certainly a massively covered election, just based on all the drama that has come out of the state of Georgia since they adjusted, and according to the Washington Post I was reading, even though Rob Manfred evidently didn't read it, adjusted and expanded their overall ability to get voters engaged. Here are a couple of quotes. Are you considering running for the Senate seat in Georgia in the 2022 race? Herschel Walker says he's consulted his family and that he's, quote, really considering it, but he doesn't have an answer right now. I'm very honored they would consider me running for the Senate. My family, we're still going through this process of praying and really considering it, and at the same time, I take it very seriously. And people want me to decide like right now, and I said, guys, I want to take my time because this is a very serious thing. But I will tell you this, Herschel Walker said. I believe in the God, I believe in this country, I believe in the people, and I'm going to fight for the people of Georgia if I run. So just stay tuned, and I tell you what, it's going to be exciting. So that is Herschel Walker, potentially battleground state now of Georgia in a Senate campaign. Eddie George, big news. If you are a fan of the Tennessee Titans like I was, Eddie George's era, really kind of fascinating. Eddie George has been named the new head coach at Tennessee State University here in Nashville. Eddie George never been a coach before, but he is reportedly going to surround himself with a lot of very proven coaches, including potentially Hugh Jackson, as well as Jeff Fisher, among others, that could be a part of any staff that he is putting together at Tennessee State. And so this, of course, follows in the trend lines, I would say, of Deion Sanders getting the job at Jackson State. You have got Juwan Howard getting the job at Michigan, Anthony Hardaway getting the job at Memphis, Jerry Stackhouse at Vanderbilt, although Stackhouse is a little bit different because he had coached his way up for a long time. But former star athletes are now becoming pretty prominent head football and basketball coaches. And I think the success that Juwan Howard has had has led to many different programs potentially opening up the door and expanding the overall universe of what exactly might go on there. So Eddie George to TSU, he's an awesome dude, friend of mine. I wish him well. I think he's going to do very well in terms of alumni relations, in terms of energy, excitement, and now the question will become how well, like any coach, can he recruit and build a system around the players that he does recruit. I was at Wrestlemania last night. WrestleMania 37 down in Tampa. Just flew back and got home about an hour ago from Tampa. Had an incredible job down there. My wife is a old school WWE fan. She actually wore, I posted the picture on Instagram, she actually wore a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat t-shirt that she bought at WrestleMania 3 in Detroit inside of the Pontiac Silverdome. She went with her aunt when she was young, back I think like 7 or 8 years old. And the shirt she still kept, and so she wore it. We were down ringside for WrestleMania on the field there. And it was a pretty cool environment. 25,000 fans or so present inside of the field there, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it was the first event that had occurred inside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium since, crazily enough, if you remember, since they played the Super Bowl there and Tom Brady and crew won that Super Bowl. This was a lot of fun. Roman Reigns, if you are a wrestling fan, double pin to end the match. And my wife is a big Roman Reigns fan, so she was excited to see him. And all in all, just an awesome time. I want to thank Nick Khan, president of the WWE, used to be my agent at CAA. He brought us down, and we had an awesome time there. Fantastic time there hanging out and seeing everything going on in the world of WrestleMania. I'd never been to WrestleMania before, always wanted to go, and it was an awesome experience. It was really cool to be able to check out. A couple of other stories here that I'm going to get to in a moment, but first, I want to tell you all about the X chair that I am sitting in right now. A lot of you now have brand new work environments at home, and you might be deciding by now, hey, you know what? Maybe these chairs and these work environments and the desks and everything else needs to be as good as it possibly can, because this is what allows me to be efficient and to make sure that I feel as good as I possibly can. This is the best chair that I have ever sat in. I love that I have a dynamic variable lumbar and a heat massage therapy option on this chair itself. I love it. I work for many hours every single day sitting in this chair, and they have an incredible offer here. 4 different massage modes, fast warming heat technology, and to warm up when it gets cold again. Maybe your body's just a little bit cold. Maybe the air conditioning is a little too chilly. You can get hooked up now if you go to xchairclay.com. Let me repeat. Right here, you can see me sitting in the X chair. It's the most comfortable chair I have ever sat in. It makes me more efficient, productive, and just better feeling than ever before. At the end of the day, you can get hooked up right now with X Chair, on sale now for $100 off. Go to xchairclay.com. That's the letter X, chair, clay, CLAY.com, or call 1-844-4XChair. X-Chair has a 30-day guarantee of complete comfort, and you can finance your purchase for as little as $30 a month. Go to xchairclay.com now and use the code XWheels for free X-Wheel blade casters. That is xchairclay, the letter X, chair, clay, my name, CLAY.com. Go there today. So, the CDC keeps coming out with findings as it pertains to COVID over a year after we have been doing many things different. And the most recent is basically COVID doesn't spread via surfaces. So all those Lysol wipes, so all of the obsessive cleaning that you have seen, it has been cosmetic theater. Now, I don't have anything against cleaning, but that does not actually make anyone safer from COVID. So, again, there has been an unbelievable amount of cosmetic theater in this country doing things that don't actually have any impact as it pertains to COVID, lecturing people for not doing them. And there is basically a 1 in 10,000 chance that you could get COVID from a surface at any object, right? So like the idea that you need to wipe clean packages coming in from Amazon, or that you need to wipe clean your mail, or that you need to wipe all the boxes when you go shopping at a grocery store. None of it is remotely helpful in terms of limiting the spread of COVID. So if you remember back in March and April, when it was impossible basically to find Lysol wipes, when you couldn't get disinfectant anywhere, all of it was totally worthless by and large, according to what the CDC has now told us. It doesn't spread via surfaces very significantly at all. Also, I don't even know why people listen to Dr. Fauci at all at this point, but Dr. Fauci now is saying that even if you are vaccinated, he doesn't think you need to be eating indoors or with other people present for food or drink at a restaurant, whatever you want to call it, even after you've been vaccinated, which is totally nonsensical, because what's the point of being vaccinated if you can't get back to your normal life? there is no point, right? If that's what he's trying to argue. The messaging on the vaccine has been a disaster because Fauci basically takes every angle of every different subject and doesn't ever have a consistent perspective that he delivers and hasn't forever. And I don't know, it's impossible to actually follow his advice because it ranges in so many different absurd and ridiculous directions. But those are the two latest COVID-related issues. The Braves. The Braves already lost to, as a result of the Rob Manfred disaster. They lost the All-Star game. Yesterday, they also lost because Major League Baseball couldn't correctly implement the instant replay system at home plate. There's no way that that runner for the Phillies was safe because he never touched home plate at all. And I don't know why you have instant replay. If you review something and you still get it wrong, it defeats the entire purpose of instant replay itself. So not only have the Braves gotten screwed out of, crazily, the All-Star game, even though there's no basis whatsoever to have made that choice for Rob Manfred. It's all just social media hype with no substance. Even the Washington Post has acknowledged that the new voting regulations in Georgia are likely to lead to more voters, not less. It's not voter suppression when more voters are likely to turn out with the new election reforms. But we now have a Fire Rob Manfred shirt that we are going to put up on OutKick. In fact, it may already be up for OutKick. For anybody out there that thinks that Rob Manfred has made a disastrous decision when it came to the All-Star game, I know there are many of you out there that would agree with me. Finally, I want to end on a positive note. I absolutely loved the Ole Miss baseball celebration over the weekend. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Ole Miss has 100% capacity at its college baseball games. And they were playing a game against Arkansas. Home run was hit into right field, and it was a party scene in right field among the students with all the beers getting tossed, with all of the water, beer, whatever it was, all the liquid up in the air. If you haven't seen that video, people are over these restrictions as it pertains to sporting events. As many people as possible should be able to go to sporting events. If you don't want to go, that's fine. That's your right. But every state by April 19th is going to allow any adult 16 and up or 18 and up to be able to go get a COVID vaccine. And once that is possible, how can you have any restrictions on fans at all? Again, if you don't want to go to the games, if you are terrified, if you don't believe it's safe to go to a restaurant or to go anywhere, that's your right. But why should your fears cancel out my freedoms? It's time, way past time, for 100% capacity at all of our sporting events. And people say, well, why you focus on that, Clay? Because it's important symbolically about opening up this country. The fact that the Rangers had a full crowd, 40,000 fans present, and the fact that cases continue to plummet in the state of Texas is evidence that we are ready to get back to normalcy. If you want a vaccine, you can go get it. You can then live your life without fear. If you're not afraid of COVID, which frankly I've been arguing for a year now, people under the age of 50 in decent health shouldn't be remotely afraid of COVID. You are more likely to die driving to and from work than you are from COVID. And so it is well past time for people to get back to normalcy, and sports and full stadiums and full arenas in the world of sports are a massive part of that. So I would encourage all of you out there, get back to normalcy in your life if you haven't already, and go place all your bets on all the sporting events that are going on at fanduel.com/Clay. That is fanduel.com/Clay. This has been OutKick the Show. I am going to be live on Fox Bet Live in about 25 minutes on FS1, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Pacific. That is what's coming down the pike. We'll also be live tomorrow morning on radio. I'll be back in the captain's seat after taking Monday off to attend Wrestlemania. I appreciate all of you. DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. This has been OutKick the Show.